Welcome to Level TV with the Google Nexus 5 smartphone review. We have been using it for a few weeks now. It came out in the beginning of November. Now we are in December and it's time to buy something for Christmas. Maybe for yourself, maybe for your family members or friends. Now this is one of the best smartphones out there right now for the sub $400 price. It's really a quite nice device since you have 16 or 32 gigs of internal memory, full HD, a big screen, a Snapdragon 800 processor even, which is one of the fastest, or actually right now the fastest processor out on the market. And it's also good in saving batteries, so the Nexus 5 lasted me for about a day, but I'm usually only online in Edge or 2G, you could say, so that's why I'm kind of a not that usual smartphone user, you could say. So let's just check out the device from the outside. As you can see, for a skilled eye right away, the white version has a white speaker here on the front, and then you can also know that the white will be on the back. You have seen it before, but now you can see that I'm testing here only the white one. The black one feels a little bit nicer, but the white one also has a nice little rubber plastic feeling here on the back, so it won't slip out of your hand, like for example the LG G2 that I have been also using. I like it a little bit better since it has a bigger battery, but for example wireless charging is maybe one of the main reasons you should buy the Nexus. And also there's some cool features inside, like always getting the latest Android software as the first person, or the one of the first, since all the other companies usually need some time, and we will also do a little bit of comparison later. On the left you will find this volume control here on the Google Nexus 5. On the bottom we have the micro USB for charging, speakers and microphone for phone calls. On this side there is the SIM card reader, on and off switch, and on top we have the 3.5mm headphone jack and microphone. On the back you have the HD camera, which can shoot nice pictures, nicer ones than the Nexus 4, but also an LED. And here we have again this really nice design with the Nexus engraved. Only 2300 milliamps in battery. It's a little bit less than the LG G2, but you can also see here the LG logo. There's no Google logo here on the device except for on the box. But also when you would buy, for example, the LG quick cover, it says also for Nexus 5. So probably there's a quite cool deal by Google and LG that they just produce this really low price, and then with the extras, which costs a lot of money, like here this one for just 49 bucks. It's a case that when you put in the smartphone, it's of course protecting it, and it also has a sleep awake function. So if I have just the front on and open it up, you can see that it wakes up right away. And you can also take phone calls with the case closed, since there's a speaker right here, but it's not magnetic, and it will always flap around like this, which is a little bit sad, but otherwise really nice rubberish feeling here. But let's check out the software of the Google Nexus 5, since we have the latest Android KitKat 4.4 installed. Almost no other device has it right now, since there are not so many Nexus users out there. Still more Samsung, Sony, and more LG users. But before we go to the software, let's first see what we will find inside the box, since I didn't do an unboxing. There's not too much actually to see here, except for, of course, to change your SIM card you need a little pin like this, like on the last Nexus. Then we have here in 3 languages what the different ports can do, what I already told you, and that you have to plug it into power before you use it for the first time. Then we have security guide, and also not so much in the box in terms of hardware, since we only have a micro USB cable and the LG charger with 1.2 amps output at 5 volts, no headphones or anything like that. It's a little bit sad. But of course somewhere we have to go down with the price, so that's why you only have to pay that much money. Now when you will unlock the device, you will see right away it's really fast. In doing that, you can unlock the device and go right away here in your menu, or like on the iPhone, you can just access your camera right away if you would want to and shoot some pictures, which is of course quite cool. I'm in a video mode right now, but I can switch quickly back here to pictures, where you can see that the camera is quite fast, especially if I'm telling it where it should focus, like like here on the bottom corner on the Google logo or anywhere else. It's really quite quick. You can check out some sample pictures. Here I've shot and some videos, but one interesting thing about the pictures is that there is really a color difference between HDR and non-HDR. So this is HDR and non-HDR in my kitchen. Best example is if I just go here on this picture and maybe zoom in here on the basilicum. It's not that sharp and yeah, it doesn't look that great. And the whole picture has something lifeless since the colors are really just not saturated enough. And then we do an HDR picture with the same camera, same thing. It's sharper, you can see more detail here, especially checking out the tomatoes, for example, and the silverware, and it just looks a lot better here in terms of color, I would say, if you compare. So I would rather tell you guys to use HDR. Low light also still good enough. Also, when you don't use a flashlight, for example, videos in low light, awesome. Great quality here, as you can see, a lot of LEDs, changing light and everything, really good quality. You can check out here the full 35 seconds in full HD that this Nexus 5 shot on my YouTube channel and Devil TV, so just look for more Nexus 5 footage. Also here 1 minute video of my kitchen again, trying to see if close-ups and going a little bit further away, how does it look like. Colors again here not that saturated, but actually if there is any, it looks lifelike, I would say, in this case. But what I don't like is when you shoot a video, we'll show you in a second also by myself, you can say I want to focus it right here. It always focuses in just one spot, and when you hit the screen it will just take a picture. But when you go really close to things, it's actually quite okay. But when you look again at something that's further away, it's just not sharp, and you can't just hit the screen to focus like I did before here with the camera. As you were able to see here, I just want to maybe focus here on the palm, and it works. But if I go to video, and let's start a video, you can see, of course, it works fine. Google logo not in focus here, still. You have to wait forever. Maybe go a little bit closer, then, no, not again. Okay. It's not doing anything, so maybe I just want to focus like this. No, it doesn't work, it just took a picture. So this is kind of sad, and I wish there would be a better software solution for that right now, but there isn't, since now I have a picture here taken I didn't even want. Great, okay, let's check out the front camera. Also quite okay, HD camera looks fine for me. It's also fast enough, you can shoot videos or anything you want. Better than, of course, in the Nexus 4, and for $349 again, great thing. These are all the apps that are installed. This is how you will get your device when you buy it and unpack it, even with the foil here on here that I didn't take off yet. Of course, you can take off here this Nexus 5 screen cover, but I want to send it back, so that's why it's still on here. So you can see these are all the apps that are on here, except for Catching Fire and MX Player. These are the two that I downloaded, and you can't change the order of the apps. If I hold it long, you can just take it to any screen you want, and then it will stay there, and I can just delete it again like this. But if I install an app, it will just put itself somewhere alphabetically, and and you can't do like before that. You just select if I would want to have it in a different structure. That's not possible, not even by holding it down here or doing anything, holding the home button. It will start, of course, Google Now, or you can close some apps that are running in the background here, but there's really no way to get the apps here in a different order. Kind of sad. If you download always something, then they will move around. But if you're already here, for example, we can just try out the game now, since I said it's a quite fast device. Let's try something like here, this little game called Catching Fire, which is a Hunger Games little game that is based on the idea of Temple Run. So guys can see, just run around, jump, slide, do all kinds of weird things, and it's getting faster and faster. But you can also shoot with your arrow or anything else that is happening right now. For example, now I can just shoot here, shoot there, shoot up, shoot left, shoot right, and so on. So this is quite a cool game, and it's running quite smoothly, as you can see. So let me just die and run against this big thing of barrels. So this was a little bit of gaming. Browsing, of course, also still an important matter. Now you guys can see you don't have the buttons on the bottom anymore see-through. I would still like to have that like on the home screen. This looks quite cool. In the browser that's not there anymore. This is the New York Times, where we can easily on Full HD of course read all kinds of things. Looks amazingly sharp and really quite cool. And also the keyboard is not only available for typing here single letters, but you can also just drag your finger around it, like you can say, okay, I want to toggle, or I can just do Washington. You don't even have to hit everything perfectly. Works fine. You can flip it around and you can see that it's everything really smoothly happening here. So MX Player is also again an app that wasn't pre-installed, but I like it more a little bit to watch videos, so that's my choice, or you guys should check it out also. It's for free. And otherwise I can of course show you Google Now, still working quite great. I can just hit here the button. The weather in Budapest.
It's -3 degrees and clear in Budapest.
So works still great, but that's on all the Android devices nowadays, starting I think 4.1 Jelly Bean. You can just use this feature, so that's nothing special to the Nexus 5, but it works quite good actually on here since the microphone is quite fine. So there's not much else to show since everything else is actually standard, but what I want to show is of course a little bit of a size comparison, since I still would buy the LG G2, bigger battery, no wireless charging since I don't use it anyway, not that important. But in terms of size, it's really just 1mm or 2mm at the top, and here to the side also not much of a difference. But the battery is really 35% bigger on the G2, and the price is around the same. But on both devices you can't actually put in an extra space for micro SD, so that's a little bit sad. I would like to have that, like for example in the Sony Xperia ZL, that's also in about the same price range as a 5-inch screen, and feels quite good since it has a little rough back here, which is rubber, so I can recommend you guys this one. I have already also a review about that in my channel, so you should check it out. And it's also a little bit smaller here in height and in thickness, but otherwise it's actually the same in battery size and so on, but the camera is also maybe even better. Samsung Galaxy S4, one of the favorites of the year for a lot of people, but only because Samsung is doing a lot of advertisement. We have it 1 or 2mm again here, a little bit higher for the Samsung, or maybe not even, it's probably about the same. Both have 5-inch screens, Full HD, but Samsung has something that I wish every company would still do. The buttons, Android buttons, just simply here on the bottom, where there's anyway a lot of space and nobody's using it for anything. Not LG, not Sony, and no other companies. Samsung is still having them on the bottom, and that means that we have at least about 10% more space on our screen. Otherwise, good camera on both. Snapdragon 800 also now in the S4, as a lot of people have read. But maybe if I don't want Android, let's check out BlackBerry. BlackBerry has the Z30, quite cool device, 5-inch, a little bit less hardware specky, so the camera is also quite fine, but the display is only HD, not Full HD. It's a little bit bigger, and the battery has about the same size, and there's not much you can compare here, since we have micro SD, micro HDMI, all kinds of other ports and cool things that of course Android doesn't have, and the other way around. But there is Windows Phone catching up, and one of my favorites is the Nokia Lumia 925. There's of course others like the 1020 that have a huge camera on the back, but still the 925, one of my favorites, especially looking at on the back, or just generally the design, metal cover all around, looks quite amazing, cool, and it's really also fast, even though it doesn't have the Snapdragon 800 but an older processor inside. But in terms of size, I think this is also a really nice device you guys should check out. But a device that everybody knows that has seen a smartphone is the Apple iPhone 5, which is not on this table. Oh, I'm sorry guys. It's probably upstairs since I've been calling with it. Okay, too bad about that, but you can imagine it's 4-inch and well, about this high. And just check out my German and Hungarian video, I have it in there, but I'm sorry now again. Yeah, you can just maybe compare it in terms of size. It's really like the LG or the Motorola Moto G, but of course this has 4.5-inch, and also it's a lot thicker. But actually the iPhone is also a bit thicker than the Nexus 5. Now I'm really sorry about that, but then we can at least wrap it up now. This was the Google Nexus 5 smartphone. I would give it a 7 or 7.5 out of 10, since battery is too small, the camera is not as good as I wished it was, but in terms of price it's really amazing, and that's where every starting point for a new smartphone should be. Sub 400 or 399 really is what I wish, not 700 and 800 and crazy things like that, but micro SD is an essential feature I really want. So, till next episode again, my name is Balazs Gal, and this is going back to Google now.